Hello friends, in this lecture I will be discussing about web standards and W3C consortium and its recommendations. Back in old days, when internet just started becoming popular, it was a lot like the Wild West because there were very few standards for coding, page design and browser compatibility. And with this lack of standards, most websites did not work well with all the browsers. So in that case, if you needed some information from a website that did not work on your browser, you either had to buy a different browser or get that information from somewhere else. Just because of these reasons, the web standards came into the picture. Web standards are the rules and guidelines that define and describe various aspects of www. These are the technical specifications established by the W3C or we can say World Wide Web Consortium. It is an international community of member organizations that articulates web standards so that websites look and work the same in a same way in all the web browsers. These are developed to promote consistency in the design code which makes up a web page. Web standards are the guidelines for the markup languages that determines how a web page displays in a visitor's browser window. So web standards are a fantastic resource for any web developer that help them build stuff for the web which is functional, which is accessible and browser compatible also. Now, why adhering to these standards, or what is the benefit of following these standards when during the web development? So, first of all, properly designed web pages affect greatly the viewing audience. So, if your web page is has been designed using the standards, using the established standards, it will definitely increase the number of users visiting your website. Now, search engines are able to access and index pages designed to web standards with greater efficiency. Nowadays, search engines are optimized to access and indexing the web pages which have been designed following the web standards. W3 standards promote the use of CSS, cascading style sheets, or design code which is attached to the web page rather than embedded in the pages. W3 standards nowadays they promote the use of the cascading style sheets. These are the style sheets which are external to the web page and which have the presentation or we can see the page style information in that. The use of these style sheets significantly reduces the page file size, which means not only a faster page loading time but lowers hosting costs for frequently visited sites due to using less bandwidth. So if you use these style sheets with your web page, it will reduce the web page file size. That means your web page will load faster and also it will lower down the hosting cost if your website is frequently visited by a number of users because of using the less bandwidth. Now, design features such as colors and fonts can be easily changed by just modifying one style sheet instead of editing very individual page in a website, reducing the cost to modify your website. So, if you are using these external style sheets in your web page, so you can anytime you can change the color or fonts or any design information regarding your page without editing very individual page in your website. That will definitely reduce the cost of modification your website, and we can say it will also lower down the maintenance cost. Also, same style sheets can be used to design other web pages, reducing the web page development time. And the same external style sheet, the same style information can be used to design the other web pages also. So these style sheets are reusable, and using them in the new web pages, that will definitely reduce the development time of the web page. More adaptable to future technology. If your web content has been designed using the standards, using the established web standards, then these sites or those pages will be more adaptable to the upcoming future technologies. World Wide Web Consortium, or W3C. Here, the term consortium means a group or of two or more individuals, companies, or even governments that work together to achieve a common objective. And here we are talking about W3C. So this is the main international standards organization for World Wide Web. Means this is the organization which is working for establishing this web standards, or we can say it is the organization which is working the standards for the development of the web content. W3C was founded in 1994 and is currently led by Sir Tim Berners-Lee, who is considered the father of Internet. W3C has 443 member organizations working together in the development of standards for www. So it has approximately 443 member organizations and institutions which are working together to establish the different standards for developing the web content. The consortium also engages in education and outreach programs, the industry academia programs, develops softwares, and serves as an open forum for discussion about the web. So far, W3C has generated more than 90 standards, which are also called recommendations. W3C employs full-time staff that is working with the public to make the web accessible to the users around the globe, despite their physical differences in culture, education, in ability, in resources, and their physical limitations. There are some other organizations which are working for web standards development, and we call them SDOs, Standard Development Organizations, such as IETF, Internet Engineering Task Force, WICG, Web Incubator Community Group, ESMA, and so many are others organizations which are also working in the direction of establishing the web standards. W3C compliant websites are cross-platform compatible. That means in addition to working on any browser, they can also be accessed via mobile phone, screen readers, interactive TVs, and other devices. W3C standards are the primary reason the web works so well today and will work even better in the future. Now, W3C standard permission process has been defined within the W3C process document. It is a process that tells how a proposal of a new standard progresses and transforms into a W3C recommendation. So this process of standard formation outlines four maturity levels through which each new standard or recommendation must progress. The first level is working draft. Then another maturity level is candidate recommendation, then proposed recommendation, and then finally the W3C recommendation. So any new proposal for a web standard has to pass through these four maturity levels before becoming a recommendation. So whenever any proposal for a new standard start, it is started as a discussion within a community group. And after a lot of discussion, it moves up in the organization, and at each level, a deciding committee needs to reach a consensus to approve the elevation of that discussion. And this process is and and the decision becomes a proposal. Then finally that proposal takes a form of a draft that we call a working draft. So working draft is the first form of standard that is publicly available. This document may be published as a working draft for review by community, and that community includes W3C members, member organizations, the public, and other technical organizations. After enough content has been gathered from edited drafts and discussions, a document is prepared that is called working draft. Now, what are these edited drafts? So, an edited draft is the document which is currently being worked on by the editor or the person who is in charge of writing it. And these editors have the responsibility of transforming technical decisions of working groups into actual specifications. So, a working draft may have significant differences from its final form, because this is the level where comments and suggestions are are accepted from everyone in the community, for which the working draft has been sent for the review. Now, candidate recommendation. This version of standard is more mature than that of the working draft. And the purpose of this document is to gather aid from the development community as to how implementable the standard is. The standard document may change further, but at this point, significant features are mostly decided. So this is the level where it is widely reviewed, and it has been it is make sure then it satisfies the working group's technical requirements, and this is published to gather implementation experience of technical persons, of developer community, to find the technical soundness and implementability of the standard. The design of those features can still change due to feedback from implementers. So this is, again, this is at this level, the changes may be made by the implementers or the developer community. So proposed recommendation. This is the next maturity level of W3C standard formation process. And a proposed recommendation is the version of a standard that has passed the prior two levels. At this stage, the document is submitted to W3C Advisory Council for final approval. So a PR or a proposed recommendation is a mature technical report that W3C has sent to its advisory council for final endorsement. And at this stage, the users of the standard provide inputs. After testing the specification of standard based on their technical decisions or technical requirements. And generally, this step rarely causes any significant changes to a standard as it passes to the next phase. Now, W3C recommendation. This is the most mature stage of development, and at this point, the standard has undergone extensive review and testing under both theoretical and practical conditions. Now the standard is ready for deployment to the public and is endorsed by W3C. So this is the level where W3C recommends the deployment of its recommendation for the development of the web content. We have so many W3C standards we are using, we are working on. We are already following them in for the development of web content. HTML, CSS, CGI, XML, XHTML, Voice XML, and so many are others. So friends, in this lecture, I have discussed about what are the web standards, why one should adhere to these web standards while developing a web content, and what is W3C, World Wide Web Consortium, and what is a W3C standard formation process, and what are its different levels. So for now, this all I had to deliver. Thank you.